Welcome back. It's the Flow Friday Sports Show here on Flow FM, and we're wrapping up our South Australian netball coverage with a look back at two sensational finals played in the KNT Netball Association last weekend, and we'll look ahead to the two big finals on this weekend as well. Sally Bywater is on the line with me to help us do that. How are you, Sally?
Very well, thank you. And great to be back for another week of finals.
Lovely to have you back, and I'm very eager to hear what happened in these games, because a 3-goal margin in one, a 4-goal margin in the other. We were talking this year about how we weren't seeing as many close games compared to last year in the KNT Netball Association. Well, that's sort of corrected itself over the first weekend of finals.
Absolutely, and that's what we love to see. Like, to have both games under 5 goals is absolutely fantastic, and let's hope we see that for the next few weeks as well.
Most definitely. We want to see lots and lots of close games. But let's have a look back at our two games from the first weekend of finals. We'll start with the elimination final on Sunday. Border Districts were the higher-ranked team, but they couldn't get it done over Naracoorte. So Naracoorte go through to the next week of finals. They won it 35-31. Looks like this one was a thriller, and we've been crying out for Naracoorte to win some close games and beat some of the teams in the top 4. They finally got a few of them in the back half of the year, enough to qualify for finals, and they've kept that form rolling on.
Absolutely fantastic game here last week between Naracoorte and Borders, and in really not very nice conditions. There was heavy rain, there was wind to start the game, but at least it finished in great conditions. And obviously they played twice this season. Naracoorte did get the win over them. Obviously they just slipped into the finals, just getting that 5th spot, but a great game here. It was only one quarter that did the damage. They were level for 3 quarters in quarters 1, 3 and 4, but they just got up by 4 in the second quarter, which was what won them the game in the end. So a great game here by Naracoorte.
Yes, we did hear from Christy doing the Eastern Air netball wrap earlier on that it was poor conditions over on the Eyre Peninsula. I think it was pretty poor conditions all over the whole state on Sunday. So I think the teams playing finals on Saturday would have been pretty grateful for that, or if anyone was lucky enough to have an indoor final, they would have been grateful as well. But that is season over for Border Districts. They're looking forward to Silly Sunday, Mad Monday, whatever you want to call it, however they choose to celebrate. But Naracoorte will be preparing for a huge final this weekend. We'll get to that in a moment, but let's look at this qualifying final. Lucky Penola had the second chance because they couldn't get it done over Keith, 46-43 in favour of Keith, and once again, looks like this one was a cracker.
Yeah, we probably obviously predicted another close game between these two sides, and that's exactly what we got. Keith got off to a really good start, and they were 5 goals up at half-time, so Penola really came back and played a great second half, so hopefully they'll bring that momentum into this week's games for them. But, yeah, dominant second quarter that got the win over the line for Keith, so, yeah, they'll be looking on forward to taking on Mandala this week.
Was that one just a case of Keith getting the lead and then more or less protecting it throughout the second half, or did Penola ever get their noses in front?
No, they didn't get quite in front. Keith actually started a strong game in that third quarter, getting out to 8 goals. So they were always in that dominant position. And yeah, Penola did manage to close that gap. And probably if they had an extra 5 minutes, they could have got the win on the board. But yeah, great finish, which is a good effort. But yeah, great game by Keith.
All right, excellent win by Keith. So they go on to the next week of finals. And, well, it's some good fortune for Keith because just by sheer coincidence, this Saturday they're actually hosting the finals, and lucky for them, they're in it. They're the lower-ranked side going against Mandala, who went through the season undefeated, and it's a bit of bad luck for Mandala, but when you go through undefeated, you should be able to win anywhere, and Keith are going to need every little bit of home ground advantage they can get if they're going to be the first team to knock off the Tigers this year. Yeah,
absolutely, you're correct there, and yeah, it will be a great game indoors on those wooden floors. It just makes that much difference in a game with no wind to deal with, there's no weather elements, so but obviously we have spoken about Mandala all season and how good they've been, and they obviously finished on top undefeated, so I'm sure they want to finish that season like that. But yeah, they've met a couple of times this season, and we obviously Mandala got the wins in that, but it's only 7 goals in the first meeting, and then they got a bit of a bigger margin in the second game that they played for the season. So I think there'll be great matchups all over the court. I really hope Keith are competitive in this game, but I think Mandala will get the win.
Yes, I'm just having a look now. It was a 26-goal margin when they met in round 14, which was just earlier this month. So Mandala playing at home really flexed their muscles in that one, but Keith will certainly be happy looking back at the game that was played on their home court. That was only a 7-goal margin, so it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out. And that means our other game is the Winner from the elimination final last weekend and the loser from the qualifying final, Penola and Naracoorte playing at Kybe Bowlight.
Again, another great match-up here. Fantastic experience all over the court in these two teams, and I think they met twice again in this one, and it was Penola who got the 2 wins, and they were quite big margins. It was 20 goals in the first match-up and back to 9 in the second, so it'll be a great game. Penola's got him coming in with confidence. They might have had a loss last week against Keith, but they got a lot of positives out of it. And Naracoorte playing in some really atrocious conditions, played a great 4-quarter effort. So I think it'll be a great game, and I'm going to tip Penola in a close one.
And interestingly, the 2 games they played this year, the 20-goal margin came at Naracoorte, and then that much closer 9-goal margin came at Penola. So Naracoorte obviously improved a lot as the year went on. I can't imagine they're reading too much into that round 2 game they played. It was all the way back in April, and even though it was a 20-goal margin, I'm sure that's a distant memory by now, and the teams have probably changed around a bit since then as well.
Obviously, Naracoorte, really after that second half of the season, they've really hit their straps and playing great netball, and they've got a lot of combinations that they can come out on the court. So, yeah, there'll be a great game here at Kybe, and I think, they obviously start from 0-0, so anything can happen, but yeah, let's hope Naracoorte really take it up to them in this one.
Well, we're certainly hoping for 2 more games as good as the ones we got last weekend. Mundalla versus Keith, Penola versus Naracoorte, 4 teams in sensational form, battling it out as the final 4 in the KNT Netball Association. Good luck to everyone taking the court this weekend. Sally, thank you very much for that. Enjoy the action, and we'll chat to you next Friday.
Sounds great. Thank you very much.